dark night of the soul? What exactly is that? Hi, Awakened One. This is Rainy Maida Chang, spiritual teacher, ascension guide, Akashic Record consultant, and energy healer. That is a phrase that is said very often that you will hear associated with the spiritual awakening process. And it is a very heavy statement and phrase. And I personally don't really care for that phrase because I feel that the connotations with it is just really heavy, right? It kind of is like, makes me sink down when I think about it. So, as you are on your spiritual awakening path, I have some videos about it. If you haven't watched them before, please go check it out. It talks about spiritual awakening and the process of it and what it is exactly, and some of the experiences you will have as you start off. But yes, once you are in your spiritual awakening journey, there are moments when you realize there are some things you have to address and some deeper emotions and demons that you may not have wanted to look at before, but that now are starting to come up because there's this lesson that you've learned or that you're learning. There's that shift in your perspective, and here you are on a new path looking at things with a more expanded view. So you've got to kind of peel away the layers and look. So as you're doing that, you have things starting to come up that you've got to face. And we all have a tendency of avoiding things about ourselves, characteristics, things we've done in the past, ways we've been living that we may not want to look at. And it's not about judging what you did do or you didn't do. You just see it from a different perspective. So now here you are, you want to start to look at some of those emotions that are coming up as you're on your path. And so some of those things include looking at those deep feelings, those deep demons, looking at the things that are not serving your highest and greatest good. And the reason why it's called the dark night of the soul, or it's been referred to this phase of your spiritual awakening growth, is because there are some moments that decisions that you've made that you may not really be happy about. And as I mentioned before, there's no judgment about it. It's about those actions led you to this moment. So now we want to look at them. And some of that requires some healing and some growth. And to start to help you to start to listen to yourself and listen to your higher self. A fragment of your soul comes down to live in the earth realm, and your higher self is up in the heavens with source and with all that exciting, powerful, divine energy. So you can connect to your higher self while being here on the earth. And that is something that you can work and help hone trusting and listening to your higher self and trusting and listening to your inner guidance. Now, I've talked about that in other videos before, and as I mentioned, to go check them out. But I wanted to give something really concrete today, something that you can actually try to do. So we're going to do this together. You're going to just put your phone on Do Not Disturb because you don't want to really be disturbed. You don't want anything to come in and distract you when you are working and learning how to listen to your inner self, your inner voice. Okay, so that's number one. Turn off your phone, okay? Close the door. Decrease the distractions, stop the dings of your email, stop it all. Please don't do this when you're driving. You want to do this when you have about 5 minutes. It doesn't take much time, but you want to be able to have undistracted, undisturbed time. Okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to place your palms face up on your lap. So, palms face up on your lap. You're going to sit up nice and tall. You want to make sure your feet are on the ground so you can truly ground yourself to Mother Earth. And you're going to decide what is going to be your yes hand and your no hand. I like to have my left hand as my no hand and my right hand as my yes hand. I'm a righty, so I like to have this be my yes hand. So you're going to take those hands, you're going to put them on your lap, palms face up, and you're going to say out loud, my right hand is my yes, and my left hand is my no. And if you want to change it to your left hand is yes and your right hand is no, that's totally fine. Whatever works for you. And then you want to close your eyes. And you're going to take a nice deep breath in. And then you're going to exhale. And you're going to do this a couple times, 3 or 4 times. In and then exhale. One more time. Deep breath in. As much as you can, you want to suck in that air, filling up your chest and your body, bringing all that light and love and breath to the areas that you may not give love to in your body. And then you're going to exhale, and you're going to still your mind, still your body. Any thoughts that come across in your mind, you're just going to watch it come across your mind and watch it go. Whatever direction it came, you watch it go in the opposite direction. I like to imagine it like a car, like a street. And these are cars. Our thoughts are cars, and we're just watching the cars drive by. We're not going to look at the car. We're not going to look at the details of the car. We're just going to let it go by, one by one. And as you are here, you're going to ask a question. You can say, I'm asking a question to my higher self for my inner guidance. And you want to ask something that's pretty reasonable and simple, that you know the answer definitely, like, is my hair green, for example? And then I'm going to be still and listen and sense and see what happens in my hands. And I'm going to ask, please show me the answer to, is my hair green? And you should feel something in your no hand. It could be a tiny little prick. It could be a tiny little sensation. You might hear a big no. Is the sky purple? And you might get an answer and you might feel it in your hand. You might hear it again. So you want to ask questions that are obvious, and you want to do no's and you want to do yeses. And you don't want to ask something like, should I go to this party tomorrow or something like that? Because that's not going to help you to really discern what's the yes and the no. You want to be able to discern your yes and no's and start to hone in on that so that you can start to trust your inner touch, your inner feelings, your inner guidance. And some people are more physical, so they might get that big resounding yes, or no, or whatever, or they might hear it, or they might get this stronger sensation. It might not be in the hand, it could be in the arm or the side of the body or in the head. Just really focusing in on what happens after you ask that question. The next thing is to trust what comes up. Your higher self does not want to misguide you. It wants to give you that answer that is going to be the highest and best for you. So you also want to make sure when you're asking the question, and when you start to ask something that's, asking something deeper than, is the sky blue? You want to get a real answer. You want to ask, for my highest and greatest good, what is the answer to this? Because let's say you really want to go to that party tomorrow, right? And you're going to ask, should I go to that party? It might not be in your highest and greatest good to go. So you want to ask, what is in my highest and greatest good? Please answer me. Now, it's possible that you will get an answer and you may or may not trust your gut, and you may or may not want to hear the answer because you didn't like the answer or the response. And I'm going to share a little story. In a past life of mine, I had a traumatic death. And I talk about it in another video before, so go check it out in my energy blocks video. But this traumatic death caused me in this life to have some of those physical pains and lessons for me to learn about in this life. So I had constant pain and in my neck and in my shoulders and in my back, and I was constantly getting massages, and I started to do some energy work and healing in the Akashic realm. The first time that I ever had some type of relief of this physical pain in my body was when I was working on the lesson that I had to learn. And I was in the records, I was doing some energy healing, and I cleared and released something from my back. And that was the first time that I ever had relief of this constant pain in my neck and back. And it was mind blowing. And I remember looking around being like, whoa, that was awesome, right? I was so excited because for someone who's had constant pain for decades, that was really, really mind blowing. And what did I not do? I did not trust that I could energetically work on healing and clearing and releasing some of that. And I continued on my path of getting massages and doing other stuff and continuing to have that pain. And even though my gut and my instincts were telling me, hey, you got to keep working on this, you got to keep facing some of this stuff and really delving into the depths of this, I didn't want to. And I kept doing what I was doing before. So I didn't trust my inner self and in my inner voice, which I should have, but I didn't. And I kept having that pain. And yes, I did release something, and that was huge, but I still had many layers of work to do and to clear and to release and heal. And when I finally listened to my own inner self and my own inner wisdom, I realized, oh my gosh, Raina, you can totally work through this. You just have to face it. So that was my work of really looking at those lessons and really getting peeling back the layers of what I had to address for that lesson of that traumatic death that I had in a past life. So I encourage you to listen to your inner guidance. Learn that lesson to trust yourself and to trust that the guidance that's coming in is right and true for you. And remembering to ask that if it's in your highest and greatest good, what is that answer? This journey of spiritual awakening is exactly that. It's a journey. There is no one quick fix it. I wish there was, but it's not. It's about really wanting to look at those things that you want to address and doing the work and really knowing that as you face some of those deep emotions and perhaps demons that you have deep inside you, and healing and clearing and releasing them, it's for your highest and greatest good. And you will feel the difference as you start to peel away the layers of those lessons that you're learning. If you'd like some tools and meditations for your spiritual awakening journey, please check out the Spiritual Awakening Kit. I'll put it in the description box below. I'm so happy to be here on this journey with you. Your presence here is so important, and this community is growing, and we are all here together to share experiences, to share love and joy and harmony and peace with one another. So please comment and let me know where you are on your spiritual awakening path. And if there's anything I can do to help you, I'm here for you. I'm sending you a lot of love, a lot of healing, a lot of harmony. Bye for now.